Okay, Alex, well, we're here to talk about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1.
Part one.
Part 1. Now, the first thing I wanted to find out when I went to the film, when I saw the film, was whether the filmmakers have done us a disservice by splitting the last book into two parts.
Right.
So what's your take on that?
No, I don't think so. I think they definitely made the right choice because it's the pivotal book. Obviously, it's the final book in the series, and there's so much going on that it seems like maybe a cynic would say it's a crass appeal or a crass attempt at more money, but it's really there's so much going on that I think it really does a great job of putting everything in there that you want in there.
Alex, you ignorant slut. Excuse me. Wait a minute. Must be good.
Yes, I think you need to take that off. Maybe influencing you.
You know, it chafes my neck is the worst part about it. Oh, man. Okay, get rid of that. All right. So, back to business. Yeah, I agree. It didn't bother me that it was half of the last book. It also didn't bother me that it was over 2 hours long. It didn't seem that long at all. There was a lot going on. Although, of course, in that book, there are long stretches of them jumping from place to place, porting from place to place, and not a lot going on except internally, which makes it a far more thoughtful piece, and it's a different kind of film than they've ever done.
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps the length of it. It helps that at least the previous 2-3 films have been similar in length, so where you go in expecting it to be that kind of length, so it's not a big surprise. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, although at times it seems there's not a lot happening, but it's just such emotional depth that isn't really present, or isn't present on this level in the previous films.
Yeah.
That just keeps it proceeding forward all the time, and I think they do a fabulous job with that.
Yeah. Now, one thing I've noted about it immediately and then continuing through the film is how dark it was, and dark in a literal sense. It's like Yates hired a cinematographer for this one named Eduardo Serra, and he had done the cinematography on M. Night's Unbreakable, and he's apparently a master of light because he also did The Girl with the Gold Earring. And so in this one, he more or less masters light by removing a lot of it. It's very dark all the way through.
Yeah, at least the first half hour. I think it got better as it went along, but the first half hour, I was really straining to see what was going on screen, and I think that really kind of set the tone. I think that's probably why they did that, just to make sure, there's a lot of dark stuff going on in this movie, and you're not going to get a lot of light feeling from this movie. So.
Well, that's for sure. Through the years, we've been watching these films since 2001, hard to believe, and in a sense, it seems like longer than that, but because these characters have become part of our lives, basically. But in this one, the actors, the young actors, have matured into their roles amazingly. But I think no one more than Rupert Grint is Ron. He really impresses me with what he's doing with that role. It's fleshing out very well.
Well, he's got the physical presence too. He's become the biggest of any of the character or the young characters now, and so he's very imposing in that way. But yeah, no, he's a great actor, and the three of them play off each other very well. And of course, in this film, they are truly the main characters. They've been the main characters before, but the film is only on them because there's no diverting from into any other side stories. They are the story, and so and they do a great job of carrying every scene they're in.
And of course, there's a lot of action in it. I don't want to downplay that. There's, they infiltrate the Ministry of Magic, which is a fun scene, and they encounter some searchers, some people trying to collect, rogue magicians in the forest, and there's a kind of a shootout with wands. It's pretty.
I mean, and the opening scene where they have to take Harry to a safe house, and there's all sorts of just big action sequences that it kind of belies all the softer moments, or I mean not the softer moments, but the quieter moments when they're waiting in the forest or waiting on the cliffs or anything like that. They really do a great job of balancing. David Yates, and I guess it's the same writer who's done all of the movies. Just a good job of balancing the really good action moments and the softer moments when they're waiting out. their fates.
Yeah, I was entertained and I was moved. There's a very touching scene towards the end of the film that we won't talk about, involving one of the characters who makes a reappearance. And you know, I shed a tear. So that's a sign that it's.
And this is only part one, so we're already crying in part one.
Oh, man.
I can't imagine what's going to wait us in part two.
Bring out the snot rags. So, and yeah, and then the ending of the film was dramatic. Beautiful, you know, explosive, dramatic ending, setting us up for the next chapter.
Yeah, and I mean, just the way they present all the villains, but especially Voldemort. I mean, he is almost the evil of all evil, and I didn't really feel it in the previous films. I think everything has led up to this, of course. I mean, this is the final films, and I think that it almost felt like they were saving up all of their emotional angst, or whatever you want to call it, to dump into this final film, and it really pays off. I mean, I thought that the previous films were all good. They had their moments, but this one, it was just on a high throughout, and I don't think they let up. I just hope that number 2 can follow through.
I hope so too. Well, I guess it's pretty much done filming, and they're going to release it in July, right? Next July. So we can't wait.
Yeah, definitely.
And enjoy.